Welcome to episode 2 of How to Isaac 101. This episode will talk about more characters in the game, machines and beggars, pills and cards, and also about the final boss, Mom. Let's get started. So, if you haven't seen the previous episode, you should probably go do so because a lot of stuff I'm going to be talking about here won't really make sense unless you know the previous stuff I talked about in the previous episode. But anyways, let's start with some of the new characters. So, there are specific goals or things that you have to do to unlock these characters. First character I'm going to talk about is Magdalene or Maggie. She is a character unlocked by having 7 or more heart containers in a single run. It's also just Isaac in a yellow wig. This is also meant to portray Isaac's mother. Anyways, Maggie has 4 hearts, which is pretty good because Isaac only has 3 hearts. She also has the Yum Heart item, which allows her to regenerate 1 heart of red hearts. So if you have 3 out of 4 hearts, then you use the Yum Heart, you get to 4 out of 4 hearts. Maggie is pretty decent. Her only drawback, mostly, is her speed, which is kinda slow. She's kinda slow, so that's kind of the con of using her. But for new players, she is pretty good because having 4 hearts is just more health you can tank, and that's just overall great. The next character, he does not have as much health as Maggie. Our next character is Cain. Now Cain is unlocked by having 55 or more coins in a single run. He also starts with 2 heart containers, which means he can only tank like 4 hits. He starts with a key, and he starts with the Lucky Foot item. Now the Lucky Foot item is pretty good because it gives him luck, which I haven't talked about yet. I didn't talk about that in the previous episode. He has luck, and it improves his chances for specific things. I'll talk about those, which is like the machines. Anyways, luck. Let's talk about luck. What does luck do? Well, having higher amounts of luck means that you will have better room drops. So when you clear a room, you might get a bomb or a key instead of maybe just like nothing. Something else that luck affects are tier effect chances. So some items require luck to increase the chance of something happening to your tiers, such as the common cold, which makes your tiers poisonous, or apple, which makes your tiers razor blades. Moving on, I'm going to sidetrack away from characters for a second and talk about cards and pills. Now, cards and pills are commonly found in chests. They may also appear in rooms. Now, cards and pills are really similar because they are both consumables and they both appear in the bottom right corner. Now, the difference between them is that cards each have specific effects depending on what type of card it is, and they're pretty much all good effects. While pills are mysterious, and they may provide good or bad effects. When you first receive a pill, it shows question marks and only reveals itself after you've taken it once. On the other hand, you can tell what card you get, and you can figure out what the effect does because each specific card has its own specific effect. Now that that's clear, I'm going to talk about the next 2 characters, one who starts with a card and one who starts with a pill. So, let's talk about Azazel. Azazel starts with 3 black hearts, the Fool card, can fly, and he has a short range brimstone. Let me break that down. The Fool card allows Azazel to teleport to the first room of the floor, so that's the starting room that you start in. He can fly, which means he can fly over obstacles, and overall being able to fly is pretty good. He has a mini brimstone, So he just shoots an entire laser out of his mouth, and that's just really strong, especially against a bunch of enemies and bosses. He can easily destroy the early game, and also with this brimstone attack is a charge attack. And if you remember in the last episode, I talked about the charge bars, so you can see the charge charging up. So that's what charge bars is for. Next up, we got Lazarus. Now, Lazarus is quite an interesting character. He starts with 3 hearts, just like Isaac, and he starts with a pill, which is just random. The pill effect can be good or bad. It's just a random pill that he starts with. Now, if you see there, it says X1 next to the hearts. That's because Lazarus actually has a second life. When Lazarus dies on the floor, he becomes Lazarus Risen, or Lazarus Risen, I don't know. Basically, he loses a heart container permanently, and he can only go down to 1 heart container, and every floor he gets another new life. Now, Lazarus Risen has anemic, which basically means he has a blood trail behind him. And also, when Lazarus dies, each floor, he gains a stat boost, which is pretty good. That's the main strategy with Lazarus. You want to die as much as you can, but you don't want to lose too many heart containers, or else you'll be too weak to survive against the enemies and bosses. Quickly, I want to talk about the chapters in the game that you have encountered so far. So firstly, we have the basement or the cellar. Both are variants of chapter 1. Then for chapter 2, we have caves and catacombs, which are variants of chapter 2. And for chapter 3, we have depths and necropolis, which are the variants for chapter 3. Okay, so as I said earlier, I talked about cards and pills, which were in the bottom right. Well, in the bottom left, there are something called trinkets. Trinkets are sort of like items, but not really, because you can switch out them just like active items. It's weird, but they grant you effects, and overall, they're cool, but I'm not going to talk too much about them just because they're not that major in the game. Next, I'm going to talk about some relatively rare rooms. One of these rooms are libraries. Libraries contain maybe a chest or pickups, but the main thing is that they contain 1 to 5 book items, which can be really good at the start of your run because books are all active items. Next up, we got arcades. Now, arcades also require keys to open, and they usually have machines or beggars in there. Now, I will be talking about machines and beggars later in this episode, but right now that's all you need to know, and they're pretty decent, I would say. Anyways, next up, we got challenge rooms. Challenge rooms are pretty interesting since they have 2 different variants. They have normal challenge rooms and boss challenge rooms. The one you're looking at the screen right now, that is a normal challenge room. And in order to enter the normal challenge room, you need to have full red heart health. If you don't have full red heart health, then it will be locked and there'll be bars and you can't get in. For the normal challenge room, usually there'll be a couple of chests inside, and in order to start the challenge, you'll have to open one of them. Once you've opened one of the chests, then the challenge will begin. You'll have to fight multiple waves of normal enemies, and then at the end you'll have to fight a single or a couple bosses. And once you've completed that, you get to leave. Oh, did I mention that once you're in the challenge, you cannot leave until you have completed the challenge unless you can like teleport out or something like that. So overall, normal challenge rooms are pretty simple. You get good rewards from the chests, and it's just a good thing. But now I'm going to talk about a way to get into challenge rooms without having to meet the health requirement. So what you can do is if there is an adjacent secret room, you can blow it up, and then you can actually blow up the wall that goes to the challenge room to enter it. Now this next challenge room is actually the boss challenge room, and pretty much there's an item inside of it, and then you have to fight bosses to escape. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, and also in order to enter the boss challenge room, you need to have 1 or less hearts of health. The last room type I'm going to talk about are vaults, and they are pretty much a hit or miss. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're good. Like sometimes they have a bunch of chests. This one, as you can see, just has poop. Sometimes they have buttons. Sometimes they have enemies. Like overall, it's just a hit or miss for vaults, and they take 2 keys to enter, so they're pretty pricey. Sometimes they're bad and like literally don't give you anything, but sometimes they can actually be good, so you should still check them. Okay, it is time to talk about fire and poop variants. Now, I am going to rush this a little bit, but pretty much fire, when you shoot it, it gets extinguished and it may drop like a heart or a coin. Red fire, same as normal fire, but it shoots you with a tear. Blue fire cannot be extinguished by shooting it, you have to like bomb it. And once you bomb it, there's a chance that it will drop a soul heart. Purple fire, it's a mixture of red fire and blue fire, so it shoots you, and if it's destroyed, it may drop a soul heart. But purple fire, it actually shoots a homing tear instead of just a straight tear, so watch out for that. Poop, regular poop is pretty simple, you destroy it, you might get a coin. Corny poop, there's a fly that goes around it. If you get hit by it, then you'll get damaged, and when you destroy the corny poop, then it releases a fly. Red poop, basically if you run into it, you'll get damaged, and if you destroy it, it'll regenerate after like 10 seconds or so. Golden poop, when you destroy it, it drops lots of money, pretty simple. Rainbow poop, when you destroy it, it heals you up, like red heart health, it heals you. And black poop, when you destroy it, it hurts everything in the room except you, so like all the enemies. Now it is time to talk about the machines. So first off, we got the slot machine. Basically, you input a coin, and it has a chance to get you some coins, some bombs, some keys, hearts, pills, or nothing. Pretty much, you're gambling your coins. And every time you input a coin, it does have a chance to blow up and drop more pickups, such as bombs, keys, coins, or the $1 item, which basically gives you like 99 cents. So, yeah. Next, we got the fortune telling machine. Basically, you input coins just like the slot machine, and has a chance to display a fortune on your screen, or drop a trinket, soul heart, or card/rune. Runes are pretty similar to like cards and pills. I'll talk about that later at the end of this episode. It also has a chance to blow up and drop more pickups, or the crystal ball item, which is an item that basically gives you a fortune or soul hearts. It's pretty good. Next, we got the blood donation machine. You sacrifice 1/2 of a heart, and you receive 1 to 2 coins. It also has a chance to explode and drop either IV bag or blood bag. IV bag is pretty much a portable blood donation machine, while blood bag gives you health and restores your health. A good note is that the blood donation machine takes red hearts before soul, black, or eternal hearts. So if you have an eternal heart, you don't need to worry, because it will take your red hearts first if you want some money and you don't want to lose your eternal heart or your soul or black hearts. Next, we have the restock machine. It appears pretty commonly in shops, and it rarely appears in treasure or secret rooms. As always, you input coins, and it rerolls every item and pickup in the room. Next, the donation machine. It appears commonly in shops, and you input coins into it. You're donating to the machine. And once it reaches certain milestones, it may upgrade the shop or unlock new items. And by upgrade shop, I mean like unlock new slots. So maybe if you have it at level 1 shop, you only get 2 items that you can buy. But if it's like a level 4 shop, then you could get up to 6 items, you know what I'm saying? After that, we got the beggars. So basically, what the beggars are is they want stuff. Basically, whatever's on their sign, that's what they want. And eventually, after you give them enough of what they want, then they'll give you probably like an item. So, basically we got the beggar, the devil beggar, the keymaster, the bomb bum, the battery bum, and shell game. So it should be pretty self-explanatory what most of these do. So the beggar, he wants coins and he'll give you pickups or an item when he leaves, because once you give them enough stuff, then they just leave and dip and just give you an item. Next we got the devil beggar, and pretty much he wants hearts. And basically he'll do about the same as the normal beggar, and when he dips he'll give a devil item, or a devil room item. Because, I mean, that makes sense, he's a devil beggar, right? Keymaster. Keymaster wants keys, and it'll probably take you maybe like 20 keys, honestly. This guy's pretty greedy. And he'll probably give you pickups or like a chest, and then he'll dip and stuff. Pretty standard of beggars. Bomb Bum is pretty much the same thing, it's just he wants bombs. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, and he'll probably just give you a bomb item when he dips. So the battery bum, he wants coins, but he's not like the normal beggar. Instead, he's gonna give you charges on your active item, and he can even overcharge your active item. So let's say you have an active item with 3 charges, and you only have 1 charge right now. You give him a few coins, you get to 2 charges. You give him a few coins, you get to 3 charges. But he can overcharge, so you can give him a few more coins, and now you'll have 4 out of 3 charges. Pretty neat, right? Anyways, lastly we got shell game, and it's pretty much gambling too. Basically you give him something, and then under one of the shells he'll put something, and if you select the right one then you'll get the reward, otherwise he'll like throw spiders at you basically. Finally, it's time to talk about the final boss, Mom. So this appears at the end of Depths 2, and Mom is quite an interesting boss. There's a lot of different things that's happening. So one of the things that Mom does is she summons enemies, which, yeah, as you can see, there's enemies on the screen that she summons. There's also her stomp foot attack, which pretty much there's a shadow, and if you don't get out of the way, she's gonna stomp on you and deal damage to you. There's also a hand attack if you get too close to the doors. So if you get too close to the doors, she might bring out her hand and try to smack you. So all of this gameplay is the Mom fight. And yeah, as you can see down there, there's a health bar. And Mom is relatively powerful. I mean, she does have quite a bit of health, but if you have strong upgrades, then it should be no big deal. Also, once you beat Mom, you're going to be greeted with a chest, and you're going to enter the chest, and basically you'll unlock a bunch of stuff, and that will be the end of your run, and then you unlock the next final boss. When you beat Mom, the game actually gets harder, because you unlock something called curses. Now, as you can see on the screen, we have the curses. There are 6 curses here, so I'm going to outline each one and what they do, and pretty much every time you enter a new floor, there's a chance that one of these curses will happen to you for the rest of the floor. So, first off, we have Curse of Darkness. Pretty simple, your screen is just darker, and there's just like a bit of light around you. Curse of the Unknown. It hides your health, so you don't know how much health you have. Yeah. Curse of the Labyrinth. It makes your floor an XL floor. Basically, your floor becomes omega big, and there's 2 boss rooms and 2 item rooms, or 2 treasure rooms. So, it's a very big floor, and it also counts as 2 floors. So let's say you get Caves XL with Curse of the Labyrinth, then the next floor will be Depths or Necropolis. So, you basically get to skip a floor, except not really, because your one floor is pretty big. Next we have Curse of the Maze, and it may teleport Isaac into the wrong room when you exit or enter a room, and it may swap cleared rooms. Next we have Curse of the Lost, and it hides the minimap, so it's kinda hard to figure out where you are. And lastly, we have Curse of the Blind, which hides the item icons. This isn't too much of a problem, but its only real effect right now is probably like if you have a devil room and you see question marks, and you don't really know if it's a good item if you want to take it because you don't know what it is. It's just replaced with a question mark. Okay, now it's time to talk about challenges. So challenges each have their own unique items and goals for you, and I'm going to talk about the best challenges that you can currently do. So first off, we got challenge number 2, and there's no requirement, it's unlocked by default, and the gimmick is that you will have a bunch of poop items basically. That's the gimmick. The next one is challenge 3, and there is no requirement for this one either, and the gimmick is that there's a bunch of rotating tiers around Isaac. This next one though actually does have a requirement, and it's challenge 5 where you need to have at least 7 heart containers, and in this challenge you're slow and you're tanky. The next challenge has the same requirement as challenge 5, and pretty much all the doors are cursed doors. After challenge 10 we got challenge 12, which is unlocked by default, and it gives you a bunch of lemon items. Pretty cool, I guess. I don't know, it's lemons. It's called When Life Gives You Lemon. Challenge 17 is also unlocked by default, and it gives you these cool magnetizing tiers. Challenge 18 is also unlocked by default, and it allows you to shoot blue flies, which are friendly flies that attack enemies. Lastly, we have challenge 30, which is unlocked by beating Mom, and it gives you this cool sword which absolutely destroys everything. Now I'm going to talk about the rewards that you actually get from these challenges. So, if you beat challenge 2, you get the Rune Yera. Now, did I just say rune? Yes, runes. So, basically, runes are stones, and they're pretty rare, and basically, they're just cards, basically. They have set effects, and when you use them, that effect will occur, and it's in the bottom right, just like cards and pills. So, yeah, runes are pretty simple. So, the Rune of Yera, basically, when you use it, it duplicates all pickups in the room, such as bombs, keys, coins, yeah. From challenge 3, you get the Rune of Ewoks, and basically, it creates a trapdoor or a crawl space. Now, I don't think I've talked about crawl space, but pretty much it's a free item, but I'll talk more about that in a future episode. Next, in challenge 5, you get Ounces, the Rune of Ounces, and pretty much it reveals the entire map, except for super secret rooms. So you basically just get the entire map. From challenge 10, you get the credit card, and it removes price tags, making everything free in the room. Basically, only useful for shops and devil deals, but I mean, that's pretty good, right? You can just get all the free things in the shop, or all the free things in the devil room. Next we got challenge 12, you unlock the card Against Humanity. It fills the entire room with poop. And, well, you may not think this is very useful, but poop can actually also drop a trinket called Petrified Poop. And basically, it makes it that poop has a 50% chance to drop something. So if the entire room is poop, and you get the trinket, then you pretty much get a ton of money, and a ton of hearts, and it's just really good. From challenge 17, you get Death's Touch, which is an item. It's a Devil Room item, and it makes Isaac's pierce, and his damage and his tier size up and tiers down, but it's a pretty good item, like, it's pretty good. Next we got Tech 5, which is unlocked from challenge 18, and it makes it so Isaac shoots a laser, which is pretty good. It does great damage. It also covers the entire room. It's just good, okay? Get it. And lastly, we have Blank Rune, which comes from beating challenge 30, and it triggers a random rune effect. Even if you haven't unlocked a rune, it may still choose that effect. Plus, it also has a 25% chance to duplicate itself, so that's neat. To wrap things off, I'm going to talk about mods for the Binding of Isaac. Now, I know mods are sort of like cheating, right? Because like, if you hear someone using a mod in like Minecraft, that's like cheating, right? But in Binding of Isaac, these are mostly just quality of life. These are just meant to help you. It's not really cheating. Okay, I guess some of them might be a bit cheating, but honestly, these are just great mods to have. You unlock mods after beating Mom, and you can actually use mods after you've beaten Mom. So yeah, that's great. So the first mod I have here is instant fire and poops. So basically, fire and poops take quite a while to destroy. They take like 4 hits. Instead, with this mod, they only take 1 hit, saving you a ton of time if you want to maximize everything. You can't one hit them when there's enemies in the room though. So like if a room is full of fire and it's meant to be challenging because of that, it's not really cheating because you can't one-shot them until all the enemies are dead. Next, we have coming down stomps and watch out laser. Pretty much, these help you with laser enemies and stomping enemies. It shows an indicator, and overall I think this is just really helpful, especially if you're a beginner. This is just really helpful just to understand the flow and like seeing them visually better. You can remove it after, like if you feel confident in your ability, but this is just really helpful, especially when the lasers just like come out of nowhere and you're like, whoa, where'd they come from? Like, how am I supposed to dodge this? At least you'll be able to know where the lasers are coming from and like where they're actually going. Next, we have Minimap API. Minimap API is pretty good because it just makes the flow of the minimap better. Plus, there's a bunch of things you can do with it. You can like make custom icons. So overall, it's just a pretty good quality of life mod. Next, enhanced boss bars. This is a great mod, especially for the later bosses. This is just, it just looks so much cleaner and so much better, honestly. Instead of just the plain normal boss bar, you get this cool specific boss bar. It's great, honestly. You should just get it. It doesn't affect gameplay, so yeah, it's a great mod. And lastly, the best mod to get in the Binding of Isaac is EID, external item descriptions. Pretty much, it just tells you what items do. It's great. You don't have to search up on the wiki and just see what things do, because it's just in-game. It tells you what it does. You might have seen it in some of the gameplay here. Pretty much, it's just a goated mod. Like, literally everyone has this. It's just so helpful. It's honestly just really helpful. It's a great mod. You should 100% get this. And with that, that is going to be the end of this episode of How to Isaac. Hopefully you learned some things. We talked about many things. We talked about machines, variants of poop and fire, different characters. We talked about mom. We talked about runes and challenges and mods. So many things. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.